This is always the worst part about setting up a new month. Hello again team, it's Jess or JashiiCorrin and welcome back for my December 2019 plan with me. Before we jump into the planning for today, as per usual, we're just going to have a look at how this month is going. So as you'll remember from my last monthly plan with me, my theme for November was butterflies. In terms of the pages we had in this one, we have my splash page, my monthly log, my bucket list, which only actually has 2 things in it. Both of these items have kept me quite busy this month, so I didn't actually end up adding anything else. I've also got my mood tracker, my habits, steps, and fluids tracker. On the fluids tracker, blue is for water, purple is for Coke Zero, and green is for anything else that I drank. On this one I also had my social media scheduler and my challenges section. You can see I never ended up getting around to adding those either. It's been a really busy month. Another section that I'm not too proud of is my meal log. I fell off on this one around the time of the bachelorette party, and I just really never got back into it. I did like the idea of it though, and I would like to try this again someday, but not when I'm quite as busy. I had my monthly to-do list, and this was mainly just for all of the stuff that I wanted to get done in term 4. And then after this we're on to my build as you go weeklies. So we had the first one, the second, and then the one I'm using currently. I'm hoping that this will be enough space for the rest of the month, but if it isn't, I'm sure I can go and add down what I need to do somewhere else. Flipping over to my plan for December, the theme that I've decided on is alcohol and cocktails. For the past few years, I have traditionally gone with a Christmas theme, but because it's summer here, I wanted to do something fun with bright colours, and something that steps away from the usual festive spreads. Not to say I won't have some of those during the month anyway, but it's not my theme for the month. As per usual, any of the equipment I use in today's setup is linked in the description box below. So let's jump into the time lapse. To start off, I'm going in with my S-size Pitt Artist pen. For my cover page this month, I've decided to go with a shelf that's holding some different drinks. I think that one of the most fun things about this theme was just getting to draw a bunch of different glassware. So throughout the setup, I have wine glasses, martini glasses, tall and short glasses, shot glasses, and more. When drawing these drinks, I made sure to leave a little bit of room between the liquid and the edge of the glass, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. It's only a simple difference, but I really do think it makes them look quite a lot better. After drawing the drinks and ruling out the shelf, it was on to the title. For December, I'm using a simple all caps block letter style, where each letter is a different size to the one next to it. For these, I for the most part make it so that they all start at the top at the same level, and then just extend down the page different amounts. Again, it's something simple, but it can have some good visual impact. While I did quite like the black and white cover page, the entire point of this theme was bright colours. To colour in my doodles, I just used my Tombow gel brush markers in the colours 743, 933, 025 and 173. I started by colouring the things I knew I wanted a specific colour, so the garnishes on the drinks, and then coloured in the liquid of the drinks while trying to get a good spread of all 4 colours. Of course, after that, I felt that the shelf needed a little bit of love too, so I added in a sort of wood grain pattern by adding some broken lines and the occasional swirl. I did something similar to this back in October last year for my potion bottle mood tracker, and I've done something similar to that for this month's mood tracker as well. After the shelf was done, it was on to the monthly log. As December starts on a Sunday this year, and I personally like to start my calendar weeks on a Monday, this makes the month span 6 weeks. As you will have seen in my September plan with me, when this happens, I just like to put the last few days of the month back on the first row. I know some people just like to divide the boxes on the last row to accommodate those extra days, but I prefer having full-size boxes for each day of the month. I'd be interested to know what you guys prefer though. Do you do the same thing as me, or do you split the boxes, Or maybe you guys just style your calendar to accommodate for the extra days at the bottom. I know I've mentioned it in pretty much every monthly plan with me for the last 6 months, but I have super loved the sizing of the monthly logs in the dingbats. Next year I'm going to be using an Archer and Olive, so I'm not too sure if I'll stick with the calendar style or if I'll go back to the vertical monthly log. I haven't actually opened up the journal yet and counted the number of spaces across, which I know will have a pretty big influence on that decision. With that said though, I am very excited to try out the Archer and Olive. It's a journal that I was originally planning on getting for this half of 2019, but then the lovely people over at Dingbats sent me this journal before I got around to it. I'd be keen to know what journals you guys are using for next year. So far, with the journals that I've tried, I'd have to say that the Scribbles That Matter are my favourites, followed by the Dingbats and then the LT 1917s. For reference, those are the only 3 that I've tried. But I'm always curious to find out what other people are using. Were you guys going for blank notebooks, or maybe something pre-printed? I'd love to hear your thoughts. After the monthly log, it was on to my holiday to-do list and mood tracker pages. Just like I had with my term 4 to-do list in November, I'm hoping that my holiday to-do list for December will help keep me motivated to make the most of my time off. This one is likely going to include both leisure tasks and school tasks. At this stage, I'm not too sure how I want to separate the page, so for today I'm just putting in the header. As I mentioned before, and as you can probably see from the pencil lines, my mood tracker for the month coming is different drinks that I colour in based on my mood. To make sure that I had enough space on this page for all of the days, I started by separating the page into 4 rows and 8 columns. This gave me enough space for 32 drinks, so obviously I don't fill one of these in. On each shelf, I wanted to have no double ups of drink styles, so when planning, I next went in with an individual type of drink and put it in a unique column on every row. Hopefully that makes sense. As I've spoken about before, randomly arranging things does not come naturally or easily to me. But I found placing one type of drink at once really did help in setting this mood tracker up. Mood trackers usually end up being my most decorative page in any given month, and I find them really fun to look at. I certainly think that those are something that I'm going to be continuing with next year. I've already got some ideas about layouts that I want to chop and change and try, but I'm really eager to hear about what other people are doing too. You guys and the rest of the planning community are a huge source of inspiration, and I love getting to see what other people are doing in their journals, especially at this time of year. On that note, seriously, how is it already December? Where did 2019 go? I feel like I haven't accomplished enough this year for it to almost be over. Up next we have my habits and steps trackers. Sticking with the basics for this one, initially I was only going to have horizontal lines on my steps tracker, but as I started drawing them in, I changed my mind and decided to put the vertical ones in as well. I'm not too sure how I'm going to fill out my habit tracker at this stage, or even what my habits are going to be, but I was thinking that for my steps tracker, I kind of want to do the thousands in colour bands. So something like that any amount over 7,000 steps is in green, 5,000 to 7,000 is in yellow, 3,000 to 5,000 is orange, and lower than 3,000 is pink. I'm still playing around with what I want the brackets to be, but I think this would be a cool way of using my colours for the month. For the headers on this spread, I decided to decorate them with some citrus slices. A little bit different to what I normally do, I decided to go in with colour for these ones first, and then outline them afterwards. This is a really effective way to make sure that your pen, or rather your black pen, doesn't smudge when you go in and add colour. Seeing as we're on the relevant page, I would love to know if you guys are tracking any new habits in December. I feel like I'm asking you guys a lot of questions today. That probably comes from the fact that my uploading and responding to YouTube comments has been really sporadic this month. And a big thank you to you all for being so patient with me. I'm really excited to get back into my video making routine. I really love making videos, so a big thank you to you for watching. With that aside though, yes, please tell me what you are tracking next month. To do the numbers for the weekdays, I just used my Statler Tri-Plus fineliners in pink, orange, yellow, and green. To decorate the space left over on my steps tracker, I just added some more little cocktail stickers, and then it was onto my social media scheduler and December Doodle Challenge pages. To decorate the headers on these ones, I drew, well, I at least attempted to draw some mint leaves and a pineapple slice. Again, I put the colour down first and then outlined with my Pit Artist pen. I also end up decorating this page with a quote that says, "Trust me, you can dance," supposedly stated by Vodka. Side note, pineapple slices are hard to draw. Well, at least I found it hard. It also wasn't helped by the fact that my brown pen was having a conniption by essentially having what looked like weird growths on the pen tip. To go along with my cocktail theme this month, my doodle challenge for December is doubling as a cocktail challenge. This one I'm calling Draw or Drink. So for each day in December, I'm going to be making and consuming a different cocktail. I've built up quite a stash of spirits over the years, and I absolutely love trying new cocktails. I just don't get around to it very often. A bit of an aside, New Zealand has a pretty bad drinking culture. For a lot of people here, there's sadly a mentality that there's no point in drinking if you're not trying to get drunk. And also sadly, I've kind of found myself falling into that pattern too. This cocktail challenge is going to be my way to combat that. I'm using this as a way to find enjoyment with alcohol that doesn't revolve around getting drunk. This also fits in with one of my major goals of trying new things, so I'm pretty excited about it. If you wanted to partake, at some point in the next week I'll be posting my prompt list. I just have to make it first. An important disclaimer though, don't drink if you're underage, drink responsibly, know your limits, and if your drinking is a problem, please do seek help. For my social media log this month, I, as usual, have my section for Instagram, and again I have a larger section for YouTube. Over on the community tab, I asked you guys if you wanted me to do Vlogmas this year, and given the majority of yes votes that I got, that is going to be happening. Sorry hard pass voters, but it's okay, you don't have to watch. I don't really consider myself a vlogger by any standard of the word, so I'm not too sure at this stage what those videos are going to include, but as always, if you guys have suggestions, please give them to me. Up next we have my meal log. I'm doing this one quite a bit differently to normal in that I'm using a calendar style view rather than a vertical list. Although I've written meal log on this one, I'm really hoping to use it as more of a meal planner, and also hoping that I have the discipline to stick to what I write down. I know the ideas of discipline and holiday season aren't usually things that you find together, but with the way I've been eating this week in particular, I do think that a bit of restraint is going to be good for me next month. Alrighty, and that's where we're gonna leave it for today. So we have my splash page, my monthly log, holiday to-do list page and mood tracker, habits and steps trackers, my social media scheduler, my doodle challenge, and my meal log. Thank you for watching, team. If you liked today's video, please do make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you wanted to see more from me, feel free to go check out one of my other videos. Until next time, bye!